Hello and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving headfirst into a pretty massive challenge. How do you actually deal with information overload now that AI is everywhere? And I'm not talking about just another productivity app. We're talking about a blueprint for building a real second brain, a personal operating system that lets you partner with AI, but without letting it take over. Okay, let's get into it.
Yeah, this quote right here, it just perfectly captures the core idea. This isn't about letting an AI do all the thinking for you. It's about building a system where you and only you are in the driver's seat. Your data is your own, and the insights you get are actually grounded in reality. This principle is going to guide everything we talk about today.
So how in the world do you build something this ambitious? Well, like any great structure, you have to start small. You start with the smallest, strongest building block you can find. So let's begin there, with the journey from a single, tiny idea to a massive, interconnected web of knowledge.
And that building block is what's called the atomic note. The rule is super simple. One single idea gets its own note. That's it. But this isn't just about being neat and tidy. Making each idea atomic is the secret sauce that makes it so easy to link and so incredibly powerful. Honestly, it's the one thing that makes this whole system click.
This slide really gets at a huge shift in thinking. I mean, most of us are still stuck using digital folders, right? It's this rigid system where a file can only live in one spot. This system, though, it uses a network, which is way more like how our brains actually work. An idea can pop up in multiple contexts all at once, which lets you discover these amazing, unexpected connections you just never see in a normal folder structure.
So how do all these little atomic notes connect to each other? Well, through something called backlinks, and they are literally the nervous system of this digital brain. Every time you link to a note, a backlink automatically gets created, pointing back. This shows you every single idea that's connected to the one you're looking at. And just like that, a pile of notes transforms into this living, breathing web where you can actually watch your thoughts connect in real time.
Okay, so with those fundamentals in place, it is time to build the house that's going to hold all of it. We're not just organizing files here, we are architecting what this system calls your great library.
And the tool of choice for building this great library is an app called Obsidian. Think of it as your command center, your central hub. And sticking with this whole gamified theme, your notes become spell scrolls. Your knowledge base is your lore, and your projects, well, those are your quests. It's such a clever metaphor for turning knowledge work into a real adventure.
Now this table, it shows the triumvirate that guides the whole system, and it very cleverly defines your role within it. You've got the lore giver and the strategist. They're kind of conceptual, setting the why and the what for. But look right there in the middle. Notice where you fit in. You are the architect. You're the guild master who decides the how. The system has a philosophy, for sure, but you are always the one in charge.
All right, let's talk about the AI.
In this system, AI isn't treated like some magic box that just spits out answers. Instead, it's a powerful partner you consult with. They're framed as oracles, these incredible sources of wisdom you can ask questions of, but whose advice you still have to weigh and integrate yourself. It's about augmenting your mind, not replacing it.
Every single interaction, whether it's with an AI or just you thinking through a problem, is structured by this core loop, the 5-stroke engine. It all starts with an input, a spark of an idea. Then you define your objective, your will. You go find the data. You produce an output, an action. And then, and this is so crucial, you provide a justification, which creates a record of the process and closes that learning loop. It's how you turn chaos into structured, repeatable progress.
So how do you get one of these AI oracles to tackle something really complex? Well, you don't just give it one simple command. You actually architect its thought process using something called prompt scaffolding. As you can see here, it involves breaking down big tasks, feeding it context piece by piece, and even guiding its reasoning along the way. You stop being just an instructor and you become its cognitive architect. Now for a little bit of the technical magic that makes this all work. It's called the Model Context Protocol, or MCP, and you can just think of it as a secure universal adapter, like a USB-C for AI. It's what allows your AI oracles to safely interact with all the knowledge inside your personal great library, but without your data ever having to leave your own machine. It's a real game changer for privacy.
All these systems and protocols are seriously powerful, but let's be real. What makes you actually want to use them day in and day out? This is where the master quest comes in. The entire framework is gamified to make building your knowledge and just being productive feel genuinely fun and rewarding.
Every time you complete a quest, whether that's finishing a big project or connecting a few ideas into a new insight, you gain experience points. And this isn't just some meaningless number. It's direct, immediate feedback that makes your progress feel real and tangible. It's surprisingly motivating.
And that XP, it doesn't just rack up points, it unlocks badges. But as you can see, these are not just for show. Unlocking a badge like Golem Operator is like getting a key. It actually grants you new permissions and new capabilities, like the ability to run really powerful automation scripts. In this system, you are rewarded for your progress with actual, tangible power.
Now, this brings us to a really clever design choice. This system is not built to just reward being busy. As this chart shows, your XP is calculated by multiplying your effort by your impact. And that design elegantly pushes you to focus on work that's actually meaningful and has a high impact, instead of just, ticking off a bunch of easy, low-value tasks.
Okay, let's zoom all the way out now. We've seen the atomic notes, the great library, the AI oracles, the master quest. Now, let's bring it all together and look at the ultimate purpose of this whole thing. Forging what the system calls a sovereign mind.
The entire final architecture rests on these 4 pillars, which together form the Cognitive Sovereignty Operating System, or CSOS. You can almost think of it like a government for your own mind. Governance is your constitution. That's your why. Execution is how you get things done, your how. Validation is your quality control, the proof. And knowledge is your living, learning memory. Altogether, they create a complete framework for personal agency.
And this right here is the grand goal. This is what it's all about. Cognitive sovereignty. It's the ability to have full, unambiguous control over your own thinking, your own data, and your own tools. The point isn't just to use cool tech. It's to make sure that as that tech gets smarter and smarter, your personal agency actually gets stronger, not weaker. And ultimately, this system presents us with a really critical choice about our future with AI. As this slide puts it, are we going to become symbionts, deeply integrated with AI, but also completely dependent on it? Or will we become sovereigns, partnering with AI as an incredible tool, but always keeping our own agency intact? This whole framework is a very deliberate path toward becoming a sovereign.
And to achieve that sovereignty, the system is obsessed with what it calls functional truth. This is so important. This isn't just about information that sounds plausible, which, let's face it, is a huge problem with AI. This demands that every single insight is accurate, it's actionable, and it can be traced all the way back to a verified source or a transparent chain of logic.
And what's really cool is that this system is not static. It's designed for what's called recursive self-improvement. That basically means it's a living thing that grows and learns right alongside you. It learns from every action you take, every reflection you make, and even every mistake. So the more you use it, the smarter and more attuned to you it becomes.
And so we end with this question. In an age where all these external platforms and algorithms are constantly trying to shape what we see and what we think, this system offers a totally different path. It's one where you are deliberately, consciously the architect of your own mind. It's a pretty provocative thought to leave you with. Thanks for joining The Explainer.